The sun was setting behind the glass towers of the city when a poor young girl named Maya stood outside a luxury mansion, her bare feet covered in dust. In her trembling hands was a small bottle filled with herbs and oil, the only thing she had. Inside that mansion lived Mrs. Rodriguez, one of the richest women in town. Her son, Ethan, had been in a wheelchair since birth. No doctor, no medicine, no therapy had ever helped him walk. When Maya knocked on the gate, the guard almost threw her out, but her voice was full of determination. "Please, sir, let me meet Mrs. Rodriguez. I can help her son." Curious, the guard hesitated, then called inside. Moments later, Mrs. Rodriguez appeared, dressed in gold jewelry and perfume that could buy Maya's entire neighborhood. "You?" the woman said, almost laughing. "A barefoot girl from the slums thinks she can heal my son?" Maya nodded. "My grandmother taught me ancient healing. I've helped people walk again." Mrs. Rodriguez burst into laughter. "Fine. If you can heal my son from his wheelchair, I'll adopt you," she said mockingly, sipping her wine. "But when you fail, I'll make sure you never step near this house again." Maya simply bowed her head. "All I ask is a chance." When Maya entered Ethan's room, her heart softened. The boy looked pale and weak, staring at the window where birds flew freely. "Hi," she said gently. Ethan turned his head. "Are you another doctor?" Maya smiled. "No, I'm a friend." She sat beside him and opened her small bottle. The air filled with the scent of herbs and flowers. She massaged his legs, humming an old tune her grandmother had sung to her. Ethan listened quietly. It was the first peaceful sound he'd heard in months. Every evening, Maya returned to the mansion. The servants whispered about her, calling her the miracle girl. Mrs. Rodriguez watched from a distance, still believing it was all nonsense. But something strange was happening. Ethan's legs started twitching. He could feel them again. "Mama," he shouted one morning, tears in his eyes. "I can move my toes." Mrs. Rodriguez froze. Doctors had said it was impossible. Yet there it was, a tiny movement that changed everything. Days turned into weeks. Maya continued her healing. She would sing, pray, and mix her herbs with gentle care. Ethan's smile returned, and soon, he began trying to stand. The entire mansion was buzzing with excitement. Everyone believed a miracle was happening. Everyone, except Mrs. Rodriguez. She told herself, "It's just temporary. She's probably tricking us." But one evening, when Mrs. Rodriguez entered Ethan's room, she saw something that made her heart stop. Ethan was standing, holding onto his bed frame, trembling but smiling proudly. "Mama, look. I'm standing," he cried. For the first time in years, tears streamed down Mrs. Rodriguez's face. She ran to him, hugging him tightly. Maya stood quietly in the corner, smiling through her own tears. Mrs. Rodriguez turned to her, speechless. How did you do this?" Maya simply said, "It wasn't me. It was faith, hope, and love." Weeks later, Ethan was walking slowly around the garden. His laughter echoed like music. Maya became like a sister to him, always by his side. One afternoon, the neighbors and media came to see the miracle boy. Everyone wanted to know the secret. Cameras flashed. Questions poured. But amidst all the attention, Mrs. Rodriguez suddenly remembered her own cruel words. "If you heal my son from his wheelchair, I'll adopt you." The crowd fell silent when Maya smiled shyly and said, "You don't have to adopt me, ma'am. Your son's smile is enough for me." But Ethan held her hand tightly. "Mom, I want her to stay. She's my sister now." Mrs. Rodriguez looked into Maya's innocent eyes, the eyes of a girl who had given her everything without asking for anything in return. Shame filled her heart. She remembered the laughter, the arrogance, the disbelief. And then, in front of everyone, she knelt down. "Maya," she whispered, tears rolling down. "I made a cruel promise. And you kept your faith. I don't deserve your kindness, but will you forgive me?" A few months later, the Rodriguez mansion was filled with joy again. Ethan was walking freely, even running through the garden. But the biggest change wasn't in him. It was in Mrs. Rodriguez. She adopted Maya officially, not out of pity, but out of love. Maya got a new home, a new mother, and a brother who adored her. During an interview, a reporter asked Mrs. Rodriguez, "Do you believe it was magic that healed your son?" Mrs. Rodriguez smiled softly. "No," she said. "It wasn't magic. It was the miracle of compassion, something money can never buy. As the sun set, Maya looked at the sky and whispered, "Thank you, Grandma. Your gift healed not just Ethan's legs, but his mother's heart." And from that day on, the rich woman who once laughed at the poor girl told everyone, "Never underestimate the hands that come from humble hearts." Sometimes, angels don't have wings, they come barefoot, carrying bottles of hope.